திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். புழியர்கோன் வெப்பொழித்த புகழியர்கோன் கடல் போற்றி, ஆழிமிசைக் கல்முதப்பில் அணைந்த பிரான் அடி போற்றி, வாழி திரு நாவலூர் வன்றொண்டர் பதம் போற்றி, ஊழிமலி திருவாத ஊரர் திருத்தாள் போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். So we have been seeing padhigam 48 in second Tirumurai, Sambandar's padhigam on thiruvenkAdu. In the last couple of sessions, we have seen the first 6 verses from this padhigam. Now we are in the 7th song. So this is the 7th song, sakkaram īndāṉum. And I would like one of you to say the words after me. That way you get the pronunciation aspect. And then I will discuss the song, and then at the end, another of you can repeat the whole verse. So Ramakrishna, you want to repeat? Okay. We are on 2.48, song number 7. Okay. Sakkaram, māṛku, īndāṉum, salandaraṉaip, piḷandāணum, akku araimēl, asaittāṉum, adaindu, ayirāvadam, paṇiya, mikku, adaṉukku, aruḻ surakkum, veṇgāḍum, viṇai turakkum, mukkuḻam, naṉgu uḍaiyāணum, mukkaṇ-uḍai, iṛaiyavaṉē. Good. So in this padhigam, Sambandar is talking about a few Puranic stories and describes the benefit of taking bath in the 3 tanks of veṇgāḍu temple, and says that the Lord in the temple is Shiva. That's the gist of this song. So we will go phrase by phrase. Sakkaram māṛku īndāṉum. Sakkaram is chakrayudam. Māṛku means to Vishnu. īndāṉum means one who gave. So sakkaram māṛku īndāṉum means one who gave the chakrayudam to Vishnu. So this is one story. And this is a story that is associated with another temple called thiruvenkAdu, which is about, you can say about, maybe about 100 kilometers south of Chidambaram. There's a town called thiruvenkAdu. And the story is that, maybe I should before I go into this story, I should finish the next phrase in the first line, and then I can explain both. Salandaraṉaip piḷandāṉum. Salandaran is Jalandhara. Jalandhara was a asura, you know that. And pilattal means to cut into pieces. So the one who cut Jalandhara into pieces is the second part of the first line. So sakkaram māṛku īndāṉum is one who gave chakrayudam to Vishnu. Salandaraṇaip piḷandāṉum means one who cut Jalandharasura into pieces. So these 2 events are from Puranic stories. So I will describe the Jalandharasura story first, and then I will go to the Vishnu getting chakrayudam. So Jalandharasura was a very powerful asura. Again, in the interest of time, I am not giving the whole story of how Jalandhara came to be, etc. So the bottom line here is that Jalandhara was a very powerful asura, and nobody could defeat him. And as all asuras, they do all terrible things, and the devas and they seek protection from Shiva, And Jalandharasura decided that, he has to fight Shiva. So he fights Shiva. So as he is coming towards Kailasam, Shiva takes a disguise of a Brahmin and goes in front of him and says, where are you going? Who are you? Where are you going? Jalandharasura says, I am Jalandharasura. I am going to fight Shiva. And the Brahmin says, hey, don't do this. Stop. Go back. Shiva is very powerful. Don't do this. You'll be killed. Jalandhara says, oh, Brahmin, you don't know my strength. I am very powerful. I can do anything I want. Even Shiva is nothing to me. And then the Brahmin says, okay, if you insist, see if you can do this, and if you can succeed in this test, I think you are worthy to go and fight Shiva. And then the Brahmin draws a circle on the ground with his big toe and tells Jalandharasura, see if you can lift this circle. And Jalandhara says, oh, it's no big deal. So he puts his hand and takes out that circle that he drew on the ground and lifted it up. And he said, lifted it up above his head, right? So as he lifted it above his head, the circle of earth, that circle became a weapon, circular discus kind of weapon, blade weapon. And then that immediately cut Jalandharasura into pieces. That is the beginning of Chakrayudham. And that Chakrayudham was with Shiva after that. With Shiva. It was with Shiva. Because Shiva is the one who came in disguise and drew that chakram on the ground. So the Chakrayudham remained with Shiva after that. And later on, Vishnu thought that, hey, if I add the Chakrayudham, that will be adding to my weaponry and it will help. So Vishnu wanted to get that Chakrayudham. So he goes to the place called the thiruvenkAdu and he is doing worship of Shiva. So every day he will collect 1,000 flowers, lotus flowers, and then do Sahasranam Archana to Shiva as part of his daily worship. So this he was doing for a while. And one day Shiva did some play and he made one of the lotus flowers disappear. So Vishnu is doing this Archana and then he has put 999 flowers. And then he comes to the 1,000th name, but he doesn't have a flower for that. So he can stop the puja and do something, or what he decided is that, okay, in place of a flower, I will pluck one of my eyes and offer it as a flower. He plucks one of his eyes and offers it as a flower, and Shiva is pleased with his worship and gives him the boon. And Vishnu wanted the boon of the chakra, so Shiva gives him the Chakrayudham to Vishnu at that point. And that is how the story is, that Vishnu came to have the Chakrayudham. So these two stories he mentions in the first line of this song. The second line, akku, araimēl, asaittāṉum. Akku means, it has two meanings in Tamil. Both come, it can mean rudraksham or it can mean bone. In this case, it is bones. Arai is waist. So Shiva is wearing bones on his body. And that's what he is saying. Akku, araimēl, asaittāṉum means Shiva who has tied bones around his waist. In one of the names of Shiva is Kankala, right? Kankala Malin. Kankalam is the skeleton or the bones. So Shiva is wearing the bones. And this again has a tattvartham, means that at the end of each cycle of this creation, right? There's a creation, the whole thing is, prapancham is sustained for a while, and then it all dissolves back into Shiva. So at the end of the cycle, only Shiva remains. Nobody else is there. And to signify that, Shiva is wearing the bones of Vishnu, Brahma, etc. on his body, saying that he alone remains and they are all absorbed in him. And that is what he is referring here. Akku, araimēl, asaittāṉum. Shiva, one who wears bones around his waist. Then, the next phrase in the song, adaindu ayirāvadam paṇiya, mikku adaṉukku aruḻ surakkum veṇgāḍum. This is referring to another Puranic story. See, in the Skanda Puranam, these are all stories that we will find in Skanda Puranam. Of all the Puranams that we have, Skanda Puranam is the largest in terms of size. So they have, I believe it has about 100,000 stanzas in it. Such a huge Puranam, and that describes a lot of things, talks about how the Surapadma and his asuras were there, and how they were terrorizing Devas, and how Devas went and worshipped Shiva to get him, have a son who can fight Surapadma and relieve them. And Shiva marrying Parvati, and then the birth of Subramanian, and then Subramania's Leelas, and then Subramania going to war with Surapadma, all that, right? So the whole story of Subramania and all the wars of Subramania with various asuras. Surapadma had brothers and all those things, right? So it covers everything. So Surapadma was such a powerful asura that he took over he gave a lot of troubles to Devas, and Devas were all in hiding. And once Surapadma's son, his name is Bhanugopa attacks Indralokam, the world of the Devas, and Indra is not there because he is in hiding. So Indra's son Jayanta was leading the forces and fighting with Bhanugopa, but they lose the battle, right? So the Bhanugopa and troops win the battle. But in that fight, ayirāvadam, the elephant of Indra, is involved in the furious fight, and in the fight, it's all 4 tusks are broken. ayirāvadam has 4 tusks, and all are broken in that war, in that battle. So then ayirāvadam comes down to thiruvenkAdu and worships Shiva in thiruvenkAdu, and with Shiva's grace, the 4 tusks grow back and it is happy. So that Puranic story in Skanda Puranam as well as the Sthala Puranam, Sambandar is referring in this line. Adaindu ayirāvadam paṇiya. Ayirāvadam reached this place and worshipped Shiva. When he did that, mikku adaṉukku aruḻ surakkum veṇgāḍum. So, in veṇgāḍum, Shiva bestowed his grace on ayirāvadam. So, ayirāvadam got a lot of grace. That's why mikku means a lot. Aruļ means grace. Karuna in Sanskritam, equivalent word in Tamil is aruļ. So, you will find aruļ in many verses in Thevaram and everywhere else. Aruļ means grace. The Lord's grace is called aruļ. So, Shiva bestowed his grace on ayirāvadam in this place. That is one phrase. And the next part, viṇai, turakkum, mukkuḻam is another phrase. Viṇai, turakkum, mukkuḻam, naṉgu uḍaiyāṉum. Means, the mukkuḻam means the 3 tanks that we have talked about in the second verse also. There are 3 tanks in thiruvenkAdu temple, and those who bathe in those 3 temples and worship Shiva in the temple will get whatever boons they seek. And here he refers to the 3 tanks, saying that these 3 tanks will get rid of your karma. Viṇai is the Tamil word for karma, and in Thevaram, I don't know whether the word karma occurs anywhere. Maybe it occurs very, very rarely, the Sanskrit word karma. But the Tamil word viṇai will come very frequently. So, viṇai, turakkum, mukkuḻam, naṉgu uḍaiyāṉum. He who has the 3 tanks, that will get rid of your karma. That's the meaning of that. So, all this is who? He is the Lord who has 3 eyes. mukkaṇ-uḍai iṟaiyavaṉē. Iṛaiyavan means Swami, God. mukkaṇ means 3 eyes. Moondru is 3, and when it comes in adjectival form, it will come as mu or mu. So mukkuḻam is 3 tanks, mukkaṇ is 3 eyes. So mukkaṇ-uḍai iṛaiyavaṉē, the Lord who has 3 eyes, he is the Lord who cut Jalandhara into pieces. He is the Lord who gave the chakradam to Vishnu. He is the Lord who is wearing bones around his waist. He is the Lord who is in thiruvenkAdu, where ayirāvadam came and worshipped and got blessed. And the thiruvenkAdu, where there are 3 tanks that will get rid of your karma. He is the Lord. That's the overall meaning of this 7th song. If you have any questions or comments, we can discuss. Okay. If you don't have a question now, if you want, you can even ask at the end. Okay. 8th song. Before I go to the 8th song, maybe Murthy, can you repeat the 7th verse? Very good. Very good. Now we go to the 8th song. And maybe this time we can have Rama repeat the phrases after me, and at the end maybe Ramakrishna can repeat whole verse. பண் மொய்த்த இன் மொழியாள் பயம் எய்த மலை எடுத்த உன்மத்தன் உரம் நெறித்து அன்று அருள் செய்தான் உறை கோயில் கண் மொய்த்த கரு மஞ்சை நடம் ஆட கடல் முழங்க விண் மொய்த்த பொழில் வரிவண்டு இசை முரலும் வெண்காடே. Good. So this is the 8th song in a padhigam, and as I mentioned in the Thodudi Sevin padhigam that we discussed, Sambandar in every padhigam, in the 8th song, he will mention about Ravana getting crushed under Kailasam. In the 9th song, he will mention about Brahma and Vishnu trying to seek his top and bottom and not succeeding. And in the 10th song, he will refer to Buddhists and Jains and condemn them. And in the 11th song, describe that Sambandar of this and this place sang this padhigam on Swami of this and this town, and those who recite this padhigam will get such and such benefit. So that is his pattern in the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th songs. So this is the 8th song. So this is referring to Ravana. So what happened is Ravana, you know the story. Ravana's chariot which can fly, he had a flying chariot, and as it was flying above the Kailasa mountain, it couldn't fly, it lands on the ground. And Ravana gets furious, asks the others what happened, and the ministers with him who tell him that this Kailasam area, so he cannot fly, so that's why the chariot landed. So Ravana says, hey, what is this big Kailasa mountain? I'm so powerful. I will pick up this mountain, throw it away so that I can fly uninterrupted in my way. So he tries to lift it, and then the whole Kailasa mountain starts shaking as he is trying to lift it. And Parvati becomes afraid and hugs Shiva. And Shiva smiles and puts his big toe slightly on the floor. And the Kailasa mountain crushes Ravana's hands. And Ravana gets stuck under the mountain, cries for a long time. Finally, he repents, praises Shiva for a long time, and then Shiva blesses him. That's the story. And that's what he's referring here. And then he is describing the natural beauty of thiruvenkAdu and says that is where Shiva is dwelling. So that is the gist of this song. Now we will go into the phrases. பண் மொய்த்த இன்மொழியாள் பயம் எய்த. This is talking about Parvati becoming afraid. So a question will come in people's mind, will Parvati ever feel afraid? Right? Because we also know as Parvati in other, as Durga and Lalita Sahasranam and other places, we know that she is the one who kills demons and do all those things. So why is Sambandar referring to Parvati becoming afraid here? Bayam either means to become to be frightened. And we have to remember that this is praising Shiva. So in the Thevaram, Shiva is the only Lord who is worshipped. And because Parvati is shown as Shiva's spouse or wife, she is shown with all the normal feminine qualities. So that's how he is describing here. When the mountain is lifted, Parvati feels frightened because she has never experienced this Kailasa mountain shaking. So she becomes afraid. That's what the first phrase is. And there are a lot of adjectives describing Parvati. Pan moitha in mozhiyāள் means Parvati here. What does that mean? Pan means ragam. We have talked about it in the other context. The old Tamil word for ragam is pan. In mozhi means sweet words, sweet voice, sweet words. So Parvati, who speaks sweetly with a melodious voice. That's the meaning of the Panmaitha in mozhiyāள். Parvati, one who speaks sweetly with a melodious voice. Bayam, she got frightened. She became afraid. Why? Malai edutha unmattan. Because the unmattan is the crazy fellow, which is Ravana here. What did the crazy fellow do? Malai edutha unmattan. Malai means mountain. So the crazy fellow lifted the mountain, thereby making Uma fearful. And that's what the Malai edutha unmattan means, the crazy fellow who lifted the mountain. Uram nerithu. Nerithu means crush. Uram means strength. So Shiva crushed Ravana, the crazy Ravana, who lifted the Kailasa mountain. He crushed his strength. Uram nerithu, andru, that time, that day, means something happened that long time ago. Andru, aruḻ seidān, and he bestowed his grace on him. That is Shiva. Urai koil, the temple where he dwells is. So that is the meaning of the first two lines. The temple where Shiva dwells is the gist of the first two lines. But who is that Shiva? That is what is being described as the Shiva who crushed the strength of Ravana, who lifted the Kailasa mountain, and thereby who made Uma afraid. That Shiva dwells in this temple. And then the next two lines is giving the description of thiruvenkAdu. And how is this thiruvenkAdu? It is surrounded by groves where a lot of flowers are there, where bees are buzzing, and where peacocks are dancing, and where the sea is roaring. So, because thiruvenkAdu is not too far from the coast, so he is describing the natural beauty of the groves and the seashore. கண் மொய்த்த கருமஞ்சை நடமாட means the peacocks. Manya is peacock. Karumanya is a dark peacock. Kan moitha. Kan means eye. And if you see the peacock's feathers, you will find that they all have an eye spot. So when peacock opens and dances with the feathers, you will find that it has got a lot of eye spots in that feathers. So that's what it means. Kan moitha means with a lot of eye spots. The dark peacock is dancing. Nadam ada means, nadam means dance, ada means to dance. Dancing. So literally it means the peacock with a lot of eyes in their feathers is dancing. Kadal muranga. The sea is roaring. Muranga means to roar. So when you have a sea making a lot of noise because the waves keep hitting the shore. So kadal muranga. விண்மொய்த்த பொழில் வரிவண்டு இசை முரலும். Wind means sky. பொழில் means groves. So in the groves that are so tall that they are reaching up to the sky, varivandu means the bees and other beetles and other things that have stripes on their body. Varivandu isai muralum. They are humming music. Because the bees are buzzing around, and the poetic way of describing their buzz is that they are making music, and the bees, they fly in different speeds and different patterns. They go up, they go down, they dart in, dart out, and they suddenly go and they hover in a place, and they suddenly go sit inside the flower, drink the nectar, and then they fly out. So the humming, bees buzzing sound will have all kinds of tones and beats and all that kind of thing. So they are saying the bees are making music. Humming music is how they say. The bees are humming music in the groves that are tall. And it is that thiruvenkAdu where Shiva is dwelling. That is the gist of this song at a high level. So if you have any questions or comments, we can talk. Okay, good. So the 9th song, before I go, Ramakrishna, can you repeat the verse? The 8th verse, can you repeat? Can you say it? In Muriyal. Muriyal. Mm-hmm. கண் மொய்த்த. Okay, this one, let me pause you there for a second. This karu manyai, because that combination of inya is not common in most languages. It is common in Malayalam. It is occasional in Tamil. So karu manyai. Manyai. விண்மொய்த்த. Good. As you hear the verse, Odu are singing this verse a couple of times, you will get the words in your mind easily. Yeah, good. So, 9th song. Again, I will have Murthy repeat after me in the beginning, and maybe Rama can repeat it at the end. So Murthy, Kal or Sengamalattan Kadal Kidandan Yena Ivargal Ollaanmai Kolarku Odi Uyarndu Āழ்ந்தும் உணர்வு அறியான் வெள்ளானை தவம் செய்யும் மேதகு வெண்காட்டான் என்று உள்ளாடி உருகாதார் உணர்வு உடைமை உணரோமே. So as I said, this ninth song talks about Brahma Vishnu trying to seek the top and bottom of the infinite column of fire, that is Shiva, is referring to that story. And then it also refers to the Sthala Puranam of this Sthalam, where ayirāvadam came and worshipped Shiva. And then he says at the last line, those who don't have devotion for that Shiva, we don't consider them as having any kind of wisdom. That's how he finishes the song. So we'll go to the phrases. Kal or Seng Kamalattan. This is the phrase that refers to Brahma. Kamalam, we all know, because it's a common Sanskritam word. Kamala means lotus. And Seng Kamala means red lotus. And how is that lotus? A lotus has a lot of nectar in it, a lot of honey in it. Kal or Seng Kamalattan. Kal is a word that means the nectar that is in the flowers. So commonly in today's Tamil speakers, if we say Kal, they only know of Tadi, because that is also referred to as Kal. But in the original Kal is the Kal that is in the flowers, the honey that is in the flowers. So Kal or Sangamalam is the red lotus that has got a lot of nectar in it. And Kal or Sangkamalattan means the one who is in the red lotus flower, which is Brahma. Now, Brahma resides in the lotus flower, that we know, right? So the Kal or Sangamalattan. So Brahma who is on the red lotus with full of honey. And Kadal Kidandan. Kadal, we already know, is the sea. Kidandan means one who is lying down. So one who is lying on the sea. That is Vishnu, who is sleeping on the Milky Ocean, on a snake bed. So that's what Kadal Kidandan means, one who is sleeping or lying on the sea. That is Vishnu. So Brahma and Vishnu, Yena Ivargal, these two, these people, or these two, Ollaanmai Kolarku, in order to make them his great devotees, Odi Uyarndu Āழ்ந்தும் உணர்வறியான். When they ran, right? Brahma and Vishnu, they ran. One ran up, one ran down, right? Uyarndum Āழ்ந்தும், rising up and diving deep into the ground. Uyarndum Āழ்ந்தும் உணர்வு அறியான். He was not seen by them. Which means the Brahma and Vishnu, when they tried to seek his top and bottom of that infinite column of fire, they ran up and down and they could not see, and thus at the end they understood, and then they worshipped that column of fire and Shiva blessed them. So basically this phrase, the first two lines says that Brahma and Vishnu tried to seek his top and bottom and could not see that, and then they became his devotees. That's the meaning of the first two lines. The third line, வெள்ளானை தவம் செய்யும் மேதகு வெண்காட்டான். So, we already saw that ayirāvadam came and worshipped Shiva here. So, veṇgāḍum. Vel means white. Ānai is elephant. Veṇgāḍum is white elephant, which means ayirāvadam. Tavam seyyum. Tavam is tapas. Tavam seyyum means doing tapas, doing worship, very intense worship. So, the white elephant came and did intense worship in this town of veṇgāḍu. Mēdagu veṇgāḍu. Mēdagu means very holy, very special. So, on this eminent veṇgāḍu, ayirāvadam came and worshipped Shiva. And saying all these praises and thus worshipping Shiva, right? veṇgāṭān. veṇgāṭān means the Lord of veṇgāḍu. என்று உள் ஆடி உருகாதார். Those who don't praise his glory and with a melting heart. Urugudal means to melt. Ul means mind. Those whose hearts don't melt, praising Shiva of thiruvenkAdu, those people, we don't think that they have any wisdom. Unarvu means arivu, means brain or sense. Both can be said. We don't consider them to have any wisdom or any sense. That's how he puts it in a very strong, emphatic, negative statement. Basically what he says is he is describing the greatness of Shiva of thiruvenkAdu and says that those who don't have hearts melting in love for that Shiva, we don't think that they are wise. That's how he finishes the song. That's a gist of 9th song. Go ahead. Any questions or comments on the song? Okay. So I think, was it you, Rama, who is going to repeat the verse now? Okay, go ahead. வல்லாண்மை. வல்லாண்மை. கொளர்க்கு. கொளர்க்கு. Very good, very good. Okay, now we will go to the 10th one, which is about Jains and Buddhists, condemning them. So, maybe Ramakrishna, you can repeat after me. போதியர்கள், பிண்டியர்கள், மிண்டு மொழி, பொருள் என்னும் பேதையர்கள் அவர் பிறிமின் அறிவுடையீர் இது கேண்மின் வேதியர்கள் விரும்பிய சீர் வியன் திருவெண்காட்டான் என்று ஓதியவர் யாதும் ஒரு தீது இலர் என்று உணருமினே. So this 10th verse, in this particular verse, is advising people. Direct advice to the people. So, podiyargal. Podiyargal means bodhiyargal. Bodhi, the tree which is associated with Buddha, right? The Buddha, which is, I think it's called Ashoka tree. And the Ashoka tree is the tree associated with Buddhism. And so the Podiyargal, in the first sound Ba becomes Po in Tamil normally. So Bodhiyargal means the Buddhists. Pindiyargal. Pindi is the another tree. Pindi is another tree that that is associated with the Jains. So the Bodhiyargal is Buddhist, Pindiyargal is the Jains. And these two, right? What do they speak? They always speak harsh words. Mindu modi. Mindu means very harsh, rough or crude words. So mindu modi, paḍhigam. Porul means as if they are of high importance, high meaning, right? Philosophy. So what is the Buddhists and the Jains of the time when Sambandar lived, they were speaking highly disparaging words about followers of Vedic religion. Whether you are worshipping Vishnu, whether you are worshipping Shiva, whether you are worshipping Muruga or whatever is what we call as Hinduism today. If you are following any of them, they were having very harsh words for them. They were saying that they will say Shiva is crazy, is dancing in the cremation grounds, and how can you worship him? He does all these things, whatever, right? So they were saying all kinds of unwise words and harsh words. They will, we can see that in today's world, if you go back to recent past, in India, you can hear some of the politicized Nastikas. They use very crude words. Like that, they were saying. And then, what someone is saying is that they are speaking all these two, Buddhists and Jains, they are speaking all these harsh words and saying that this is high philosophy. Porul means artham. Means these are of high value, high philosophy. Paḍhigam means fool. So what he is saying is that the Buddhists and Jains are fools who speak harsh words as if it's high philosophy. Our pirimin, leave them, is the direct advice here. Piridal means to leave, to separate. Our pirimin, get away from them, leave them. Our pirimin. Arivudaiyir, O wise men, or O wise people. Arivu means wisdom. Arivu udaiyir means O folks with wise wisdom. O wise folks. Idu kedmin, listen to this. Listen to what I say. வேதியர்கள் விரும்பிய சீர் வியன் திருவெண்காட்டான் என்று ஓதியவர் யாதும் ஒரு தீதியிலர் என்று உணருமினே. So he is telling them direct advice. வேதியர்கள் is Brahmins. Vedam is, வேதியர்கள் is those who chant Veda. So the Brahmins விரும்பிய means the Brahmins worship Shiva. Sir Viyan Thiruvenkādu, the Lord of Shiva, the Shiva who dwells in Thiruvenkādu, Endru Odiyavar, those who praise that Shiva's glory. Odudal means to sing, to study, to recite, all are considered under Odudal. So, I don't know what they call it in Telugu, but in Kannada, to read is called Odu. Odu means to read. But in Tamil it means read as well as to sing, to praise. So, those who praise the glory of Shiva of Thiruvenkādu, they yādum oru thīdiyilar என்று உணருமினே. They have no difficulties in life. They have no faults. They have no difficulties. Yādum oru thīdu. Thīdu means something that is bad. So thīdu means something that bad happening to us, right? Difficulties. When something bad happens to us, or when we have some bad inclinations, bad thoughts, all that, right? Those are all thīdu, bad things. So what he's saying is that those who worship Shiva of thiruvenkAdu and praise his glory, they will be free from all evil. Yendru unarumine. You realize this. Please understand, realize that those who praise Shiva's glory of thiruvenkAdu are free from bad things. This is his advice to the people who are around him. Arivudayir idu kēn mean. In the second line is addressing the people of thiruvenkAdu or people who are around him at the time. Which means it is upadesam to us. That is the gist of the 10th song. Any questions, comments, we can talk. Okay. I don't know who was going to repeat. Was it Murthy or was it Ramakrishna? Who was going to repeat? Okay. Very good. So maybe we will continue with the 11th song, last one. And maybe Murthy, you can repeat as well. I will say the things and then maybe Rama can finish at the end. Tan பொழில் சூழ் சண்பயர் கோன் தமிழ் ஞான சம்பந்தன் விண்பொலி வெண் பிறை சென்னி விகிர்தன் உறை வெண்காட்டை பண்பொலி செந்தமிழ் மாலை பாடிய பத்து இவை வல்லார் மண்பொலிய வாழ்ந்தவர் போய் போய் வான்பொலிய புகுவாரே. So this is the final song of the padhigam of Sambandar in this padhigam. So as mentioned earlier, he will refer to himself, he will refer to the sthalam, he will refer to the verses and say that what benefit this devotees who sing this verse will get. So the first line talks about Thiruஞான Sambandar. தன் பொழில் சூழ் சண்பயர்கோன் தமிழ்ஞான சம்பந்தர். So the whole thing is describing Sambandar and the place where he hails from. So தமிழ்ஞான சம்பந்தன் means Sambandhan who has got knowledge of all Tamil. தமிழ்ஞான சம்பந்தன், right? So he is a master of Tamil. Sanbayarkon. Sanbai is the one of the 12 names of this Sirgari. Remember when we covered Thodudi Savi in Padhigam, I mentioned that Sirgari has 12 names and Brahmapuram is one of those 12 names. Sanbai is another name of the one of the 12 names. So Sanbayarkon means he is the leader of people of Sirgari. That's what it means. He is the leader of Sirgari. And how is that Sirgari? That is surrounded by cool groves. Tan பொழில் சூழ் means cool groves surrounding. That's the literal meaning. So, Sambandar, who is a master, who is a Jnana Sambandar, who is master of all Tamil, who hails from the town of Sanbai, which is surrounded by cool groves. That is the meaning of the first line. That Sambandar has sung on the Lord of thiruvenkAdu. So that is the next 1.5 lines. Vin poli ven piraicchenni vigirdan. That phrase refers to Shiva. Vigirdan is a Sanskrit word in Tamil form. Vikrita is a Sanskrit form, Vikrita. And that comes as Vigirdan in Tamil. So Vikrita means, you can say that, whose actions we cannot fathom. Right? Shiva, Lord's action, we cannot figure out why he does what he does. So that's the implication of that. And what does he have? He has got a crescent moon on his head. That is a descriptive phrase describing him in the first part of the second line. Vin poli means the moon that is shining in the sky. Vin poli is shining in the sky. Ven pirai, the white crescent moon. Senni is head. Vigirdan is, we already said, Shiva. So Shiva, who is wearing the bright crescent moon that shines in the sky on his head. That Shiva, uḍaiyāṇum, the thiruvenkAdu where that Shiva is dwelling. That is what Sambandar has praised in this song. veṇgāḍum, that thiruvenkAdu, pan poli sendamil māலை, means Sambandar is referring to this padhigam as a pan poli sendamil māலை. Sendamil means very holy Tamil, very chaste Tamil, very sweet Tamil, perfect Tamil. So Senmai means a lot of meanings. So Sendamil means good Tamil. So this good garland of Tamil verses, pan poli sendamil māலை. Pan is, we already said, pan is ragam, right? So the music filled Tamil garland. Paḍiya path, this garland of 10 songs. Ivai vallar, those who recite these, what is the benefit that they will get is what he is saying in the end. Man poliya vāழ்ந்தவர், they will live a happy life in this world, and then poi van poliya puguvar. After that, they will go and shine in the sky, right, in Shivalokam. So, just as Sambandar hails from Sirgadi, which is surrounded by cool groves, and he has sung this music-filled Tamil garland of 10 songs on the thiruvenkAdu, where that Lord dwells. And those who are able to recite these songs, they will live happily on this earth, and after this, they will go dwell in the Shivalokam. That's the gist of this 11th song. Any questions or comments on this? Okay. Okay, then Rama, can you repeat the verse? Excellent. So we have covered this padhigam now. This is a very important padhigam. As I said, this padhigam is one of the popular padhigams, because people, in today's world, right, people always want to have some benefit. So they always say, I have this problem, I have that problem. What can I do to get rid of this problem? So they always look for padhigams that will help them. That's one thing. And in that sense, married people who don't have children for a long time, they take up this padhigam for Parayanam, because in this he is explicitly saying in the second song that they will get children if they worship in this thiruvenkAdu. So that is one reason why this padhigam is popular. Of course, it's a very nice padhigam. So if you have time, we can listen to the set of songs we have seen today with the Oduvar singing. Do you have time for that? Should we do? Okay.
sakkaram māṛku īndāணum salandaraṉaip piḷandāணum sakkaram māṛku īndāணum salandaraṉaip piḻandāணum araimēl asaittāணum adaindu ayirāvadam paṇiya mikkadனுக்கு aruḻ surakkum veṇgāḍum viணai turakkum mukkuḻam naṉgu uḍaiyāணum mukkaṇ-uḍai iṛaiyavaணē இன்மொழியாள் பயம் எய்த மலை எடுத்த உன்மத்தன் ஊரம் நேரித்து அன்று அருள் செய்தான் உறைகோயில் கண் உய்த்த கருமஞ்ஞை நடமாட கடல் முழங்க விண் உய்த்த கோழில் பரிவண்டு இசை முரலும் வெண்காடே கள்ளார் செங்கமலத்தான் கடல் கிடந்தான் என இவர்கள் உள்ளாண்மை கொளக்கு ஓடி உயர்ந்து ஆழ்ந்தும் உணர்வறியான் வெள்ளானை தவம் செய்யும் மேதகு வெண்காட்டான் என்று உள்ளாடி உருகாதார் உணர்வுடைமை உணரோமே ஓதியர்கள் பிண்டியர்கள் மிண்டு மொழி பொருள் என்னும் பேதையர்கள் அவர் பிரிமின் அறிவுடையீர் இது கேள்மின் வேதியர்கள் விரும்பிய சீர்வியன் திருவெண்காட்டான் என்று ஓதியவர் யாதும் ஒரு தீதிலர் என்று உணருவினே தன்பொழில் சூழ் சண்பயர் போர் தமிழ் ஞான சம்பந்தன் வெண்கொழி பிறை சென்னி விகிர்தனுரை வெண்காட்டை பண்பொலி செந்தமிழ் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம்.
திருமறைக்காடு.
So that completes this padhigam. So before we conclude, end, is there any question on any song in this padhigam or any other comments or discussion we want to have? Okay. If not, we will end here. Next time we will discuss another padhigam. Thiruchitrambalam.